In the 1920s, the roles of women had changed drastically. The 19th Amendment was ratified, and women finally had the right to vote. 4 years after the ratification of the 19th Amendment, Wyoming, the first suffrage state, elected the first female governor of the State of the Union. Her name was Nellie T. Ross. Thanks to World War I, women now had a place in the workforce, and more responsibility was placed on them. Women could now be found in factories as workers, schools as teachers, hospitals as nurses, and in offices as clerks, taking the place of men. During the decade of 1920, everything was mainly about having a good time. Having a good time was what majority of people lived for. Due to this, more freedom was granted to women. If you saw a woman with short, length, jet black hair, knee-high hemlines on dresses or skirts, high heels, and a ton of makeup, she was most likely a flapper. Before the time of the flappers, women took pride in their long hair, and the only makeup worn was by women in the big Hollywood films. Although after style took over old customs, women started to test the limits of the social normality. Flappers were considered to be the new women of the 1920s. Designers such as Coco Chanel started fashion trends for flappers all across America. A style such as this was more convenient for women to work and dance in rather than the traditional appearance they were held to. Women gained confidence not only in their appearance, but their social standings in society. Women changed social normality in the 20s. They broke through the social wall that separated them from men by their newly found activities, such as public displays of drinking, smoking, and dancing. In the 1920s, women would go out dancing at nightclubs as a part of their newly gained freedom, especially flappers. Women became more assertive, and to show that they were equal with men, began drinking and smoking in public, a practice that just a few years earlier would have ruined a woman's reputation. Women began to participate in active nightlife in the city, where it was all play and no work. Women started to more actively attend clubs and saloons with men. Overall, the 1920s was a very exhilarating time for women. Freedom was granted, norms were broken, and women took their stand. Society now took a new look at women, believing they had the capability to be independent and make their own choices in their occupations, educations, and how they expressed themselves. The 1920s could be considered a decade of change and progress. The new women's participation expanded to include not only home life but public life as well. Women progressed politically, economically, and in social ways throughout the decade. It was proven that in the 1920s, women can do anything that men can do.